What is going on, New York Giant fans? Welcome back to another video on the Big Blue in the Bronx YouTube channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops video drops. Appreciate all coming back. So in this video, we're talking about the New York Giants releasing tight end Kyle Rudolph and running back Devontae Booker. What this means, who's on the roster, what the philosophy could be maybe, and a couple other things as well. I know Joe Shane and Brian Dable talked at the Combine. I watched both interviews. I'm not going to take too much away from it, but first I would like to say I apologize for not being as active as I usually am with creating content. Within the last 2 weeks, it's been about college midterms, and in college you have to try harder than you do in high school. You know, high school, some teachers will let you off easy with different things. College, it's about professors, and well, they grade harshly. So in the career that I want to pursue, which is typically part of what I'm doing here, you know, content creating, aka communication arts, I do want to focus on that, or that's really what I've been doing the last 2 weeks. But with that being said, my sincerest apologies. I'm going to try to get out a blind mock draft 1.0. You'll find more about it when the video comes out and different stuff like that. We are going live for the Knicks 76ers game. I've been wanting to do more Knicks games as of recently. I know within the next few weeks, I know my schedule has been busy, probably for the last few months, but there is a good chance I'll be attending a Knicks game, Yankees games when baseball ever fucking resumes, Rangers games. There's a lot of stuff in play. But with that being said, overall, sincere apologies. I'll try to be more active. And if you haven't already, please go subscribe to NYY News TV. Twin Bill is on there, and a lot of other fun podcasts. So this morning when I was in biology class, it was about 10 a.m., and I was just scrolling through Twitter, taking some notes, doing whatever, I see a post from Kyle Rudolph, long message, and I read a little bit of it, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy got cut. Then reporters started noticing it. Then they contacted their sources. Their sources obviously told them, yeah, Kyle Rudolph has been told of his release. As a former Notre Dame tight end, hats off to you, Kyle. I mean, I know you didn't really produce in the New York Giants uniform. You're a little bit older. But with that being said, that doesn't mean I wish harsh things for you in the future. In terms of stats, let's take a look. Total of 39 receptions this past season, 257 yards and 1 touchdown. That touchdown came against the Kansas City Chiefs. In Week 8, he played 16 games, missed 1 game, and he started 13 of them. So there's that. Didn't really offer much as a run blocker. Used to be really good, or at least at a decent level in terms of run blocking. But when you're paired up with Evan Ingram, when you're paired up with Chris Myrick, and you're trying to block for Saquon Barkley, who's not 100%, and you're also alongside an offensive line besides Andrew Thomas that can't really do shit, you're not going to get much production there. So for the numbers on Kyle Rudolph's cut, he was supposed to get $7.4 million against the cap. The Giants saved $5 million, and they eat $2.4 million in dead money. So Kyle Rudolph, once again, hats off to you. Hope you find another team to play with. In terms of who else they have on the roster at tight end, well, they have Rice and John, and they have Caden Smith. Evan Ingram is a free agent. I think a lot of us know that. In terms of Caden Smith, I'll pull up his numbers right now. He is expected. Also, Chris Myrick, I forgot to add that as well. I didn't even just think that we signed him back, but I remember he signed him back. So Chris Myrick, he will earn about $895K this year, and that's the dead cap hit if you do cut him, but that wouldn't make any sense anyway. I'm going to really try to find Caden Smith's numbers. Okay, so he makes total of $2.5 million this year, and if you cut him before June 1st, that's an overall total of 2.5 in dead cap. So not necessarily the greatest of scenarios there. And I thought really that if you cut him, you would save some money, but obviously not. Dave Gettleman restructuring, all that nonsense. And then there is one more. There is Rice and John, 707,000. If you hear people outside, I apologize for that. You would save literally $2,000, and then 705 you would have to eat. So there is definitely going to be some need for tight end in free agency in the draft. I don't think the Giants will be too active in free agency in terms of the draft. They better get a tight end. I mean, unless they sign Dalton Schultz and Zach Ertz in free agency, I better see a Trey McBride, Isaiah Likely, Greg Dulcich from UCLA, Jeremy Rucker, Jake Ferguson. There's a lot of guys there that you could pick from. And they're very good prospects, and they really have high upsides, and they really played well at the college level for their respective teams. So the next one is Devontae Booker. He was cut. In terms of the numbers, cutting-wise, Giants saved $2.1 million in cap savings while leaving $1 million in dead money. In terms of the stats, he played 16 games. He started 4 of them, probably when Saquon Barkley was out. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, 145 rushing yards, 145 rushes, 593 yards, approximately 4.1 yards per carry, which isn't bad with the offensive line issues that the Giants had. He had 1 receiving touchdown. I remember he had 1 receiving, 1 rushing against the Cowboys, and I can't remember the other touchdown he had. Probably in a game that didn't matter, because that's what really the Giants season was. Didn't matter towards the end of the season, really. But he was better than Saquon Barkley. I think a lot of Giants fans have to admit that. I admit that. He was better than Saquon Barkley. He was more efficient than Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley wasn't 100%, had an injury, was dancing too much, and the offensive line just wasn't efficiently blocking as a unit. But Devontae Booker, when they were blocking for him on different occasions, he found a hole. He would just go through it. And actually, now that I think about it, that 1 touchdown that I was missing against Carolina. And then one more thing real quickly. Oh, yeah, running backs on the roster: Saquon Barkley, Gary Brightwell. Brightwell makes $869,000 this year. If you cut him, $735,000 eaten in terms of dead cap money, and you save $134,000 approximately. But that's not really much of a bargain. That's not a deal at all. That's just senseless. Maybe after June 1st, you could cut him and get done with him. He's a 6th-round pick, and the Giants barely used him last year. And then, finally, Saquon Barkley is supposed to count about $7 million this year, to be specific. $7,217,000. I don't know if I got this wrong earlier, but, yeah, he's actually supposed to count 7... Okay, so I got the numbers right. I thought I didn't get them right. But there's no outlet for the Giants to actually go ahead and cut him. I don't think that's happening. Joe Schoen did talk about trading Saquon Barkley. He said, I'm open to anything. I'm open to trading player for player, player for pick, whatever the case may be. I definitely see the Giants getting a running back this year. In the draft, in free agency, Antonio Williams, very cheap. I got to look at his numbers. Let me just see, because it's a long list, and Antonio Williams makes $710K this year. If you cut him, you save $10,000. If you cut him and it's dead cap, $700,000. But literally, you're not cutting him. It's just no. You're not signing him to cut him. That would make absolutely no sense. But with that being said, Antonio Williams is a significantly cheaper option at running back as a backup running back, not as a starter, but as a backup running back, compared to Booker, where, yeah, he was better than Saquon Barkley, but if you could save the money and try to get your way to $40 million under the cap and not have to face, oh, we're this much down, we're this much over, whatever, you'll take the out wherever you can get it. And that's really the process, and that's really the philosophy of this that's really the whole philosophy. I'm not trying to find some words for it, but that's really what Joe Schoen wants to do. Yes, he may want to get to $40 million in terms of cap money, in terms of cap savings, stuff like that. But realistically, he's not going to spend $40 million in free agency. You need at least 10 to 20 million for draft picks, and even then, they're not signing a ton of free agents. Mr. Trubisky, that's an option. A couple Buffalo guys, that's an option. Other than that, I don't see really any free agent moves. I think one of them should be a right guard, because if you get Iquanu, or if Evan Neal falls, or Charles Cross or Trevor Penning gets picked up by the Giants in the draft, playing them next to a rookie, it really isn't a good idea, in my personal opinion. So you got Corbett from the Rams, you got Leggy Tomlinson. There's a lot of options out there. But to be honest, I have pretty much nothing else to reflect in this video. I appreciate you guys for coming out. Once again, sincerest apologies for not creating content lately. Try to get back on it. Knicks stream, Donald Stewart's coming back on once again. Luke will be doing the commentating. Knicks 76ers at 7:30. Peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool and go Giants. Hopefully baseball gets going at some point. Likely not happening, but hey, listen. I'm cautiously optimistic about this much. Anyway, thanks everyone.